rap and R&B was like commonplace right now, but back in the day, in the 80s in particular, rap and R&B was on two opposite ends of the music spectrum because you very seen very few collaborations. But at the time, most notable collaborations were like Levert featuring Heavy D and Just Coolin', or I'll Be Sure with Slick Rick on there, If I'm Not Your Lover, the remix, which was dope, and Jody Watley and Ed B. Rakim with Friends. But in the 90s, it was like a big combustion, an influx of some dope and memorable R&B feature and rap collaborations. So we will present to you the top 20 R&B feature and rap collaborations in the 90s. Like number 20, we can start off with, the king of pop, God rest his soul, Michael Jackson, featuring one of the dope MCs too as well, who's underrated, Heavy D, God rest his soul. Jam, the song Jam off the Dangerous album in 1992. A lot of people like that was a big look for Heavy D because in that video, Michael Jordan's in it. They filmed it in Chicago. Chris Cross was in it. R.I.P. to Chris Kelly. Michael Jackson taught Michael Jordan how to moonwalk, and you see Michael Jordan doing trick shots with his feet and shit with the black penny loafers. So that's at number 20. Number 19, this song right here, this collaboration, this R&B collaboration it was in the summer '98. I heard it a lot in the clubs. Rel featuring Jay-Z, Hove, Love for Free. This was off the Streets is Watching soundtrack. And that was a dope song, throwback sample, dope. In 1999, at number 18, this song didn't have no video for it, but it had a snippet of interlude, Mary J. Blige featuring Nas and DMX, Sincerity. It was like off her one of her lead singles off the Mary album. And I think it did not get clear because of sample issues or whatever. But I heard it on Mad mixtapes. Now I think it's available on streaming services. But Sincerity, that was dope with Nas and DMX, and it took the sample off of Daytona 500 off the Ghostface album, Iron Man. And number 17, now this was one of my favorite. This is one of my favorite joints right here. Boys to Men, because at the time, Boys to Men and Jodeci in the 90s, they had Boys to Men considered the good guys, and Jodeci was like, the kids on the, like the thugs on the block that sing R&B. But Boys to Men, they had a song called Vibin', the remix. They put it on a remix album. It came out in 95. Now, the Vibin' remix was dope because it had Craig Mack, Busta Rhymes, Method Man, and Treach from Naughty by Nature. And at that time, in 95, a lot of people remember this, like Busta Rhymes and Method Man, they were the ones with they was the top featured artists at the time. Like if you want them to be a feature on your song or whatnot. Number 16, SWV featuring Wu-Tang Clan, Anything, off the Above the Rim soundtrack. Now, off that Above the Rim soundtrack, they had the original, but they did it on some streets, some street hip, some rap stuff. Like so, they remixed it. It was You God, Method Man, and Old Dirty Bastard. Oh, yeah. That was played heavily in the clubs, and you only could get that song on mixtapes, or like they played a radio version. Play a version of on the radio. So that was one of the dope remixes and dope R&B rap features in the 90s. Then number 15, we got Missy Elliott featuring 702 and Magoo and Timbaland, Beat Me 911. That was a hard song. It came out in 97. It was off of Missy's debut album. That was one of my favorite bangers. And then we can follow it up again because it's another one. Number 14, we have Nicole Ray. She was down with Missy. It featured Missy too as well. Female artist Mocha, Make It Hot. Anyway, you catch me any day. You know it when that beat drops. You know that joint. Shout out to Timbaland. He produced it. At number 13, we have Drew Hill featuring Da Brat and Jermaine Dupri, Sleeping in My Bed remix, So Def remix. And I seen some interviews with Jermaine Dupri. He was Jagged Edge and Usher was kind of, I think they was like jokingly mad, like how you gonna give that beat to them? We supposed to, that was a banger, it was a hit. It was like, yeah, y'all was, I'm giving it to Drew Hill. But that kept the clubs bumping, moving in 97 too. That came out in 97. So that was one one of my favorite joints, and I think that's literally one of I would argue say it's the top 5 remixes, R&B remixes in the 90s. Now we're going off of top 20 R&B feature rap collaborations. So on this list, you're gonna see some remixes and you're gonna see some original songs as well. At number 12, we have Maya featuring Silk the Shocker from No Limit, Moving On. And this low key was banging, and Silk. A lot of people, Silk caught a lot of flack because he said he don't rhyme on beat or whatever. But like, Silk is one of my favorite artists from that era. I liked him. I think he was just ahead of his time. And that moving on joint was banging. But in the video, it was crazy because she was like, they supposed to be in high school, but like he was, she was talking about his baby mother, and like he kid like he was 8 and he like 16. I'm like, the math is not mathing, but that's one of my favorite joints off of there in the 90s. And coming in at number 11, we have John B featuring the late great Tupac Shakur, Are You Still Down? This song came out in 98, but John B, he talked about in several interviews where he recorded this song, Pac recorded his verse like a couple of days before he headed to Vegas for he was, unfortunately, tragically, murdered or whatnot. But that Are You Still Down was one of my favorite joints. And then number 10, now this is the creme de la creme. We stopped the top 10 R&B feature rap collaborations. At number 10, this song didn't have no video. It just dropped out of nowhere. And I was expecting this collaboration out of nowhere. I mean, I was expecting this. It came out of the blue for me. When I say this now, you probably know you got stacks like the International House of Pancakes, Jodeci featuring Raekwon the Chef and Ghostface Killer, Ray and Ghost, Freaking You Remix. It came out in 96. This had the streets on lock during the summer of 96. This song was everywhere. It was only on a single. This, for y'all young viewers out there, you had to buy a single and play it on tape, on CD. If it was on a mixtape, you had to get it. Mad didn't shoot no video for it. At number 9, got Mariah Carey featuring Bone Thugs and Harmony. Breakdown came out in 97. It was off the Mariah Carey's album Butterfly. Now, what's so unique about this song, which was one of my personal favorites, is that she was singing like how they was rhyming fast. And I'm like, I never heard anything like that. I think that's why she was one of the greatest singers of all time. And that she was keeping up with it. And shout out to Bone too, like how they was doing it. And she talked about it like at the time when the recording session, there was a lot of smoke in the air in the studio, if y'all know what I mean. At number 8, we got Mary J. Blige featuring Lil' Kim, Love You Better. Now, I think that's one of those R&B rap collaboration anthems that was played in the club, cookouts, birthday parties, and it came out in 97. It's off the Share My World album. What I found about, what I think is so unique about this song is that this song, I remember the song came out right when Biggie had died and Lil' Kim was rapping. I was just trying to figure out like how was Junior Mafia's state of mind with Big. Then they was like, as far as I took it as a fan of hip hop, like, we got to keep pushing, keep moving because, we got to give the people what they want with the music. And Lil' Kim had shout out to Queen Bee. She had a hot verse on there. Video was dope and fire. At number 7, we have Monica featuring Mr. Malik from Like This and Like That off of Monica's debut album. It came out in 95. That was that's one of my favorite ones. I want to hear more from Malik on that. Like that was a dope song. It was underrated, first of all, but that song that song was dope as hell. And Monica's album was fire too as well. At number 6, 112 featuring Biggie and Mace, Only You remix. Came out in 96. I remember right when the summer 96 when this dropped. It's so funny that this when like the visual, this is when I got first introduced to Mace. And a lot of people thought that was Little C's. Like some people was like, is that Little C's rapping? But I was like, no, Little C's in the video too as well. But that's one of the dope songs, as far as with rap and R&B collaborations. So you come all you want to, hum all you want to, money in my front you, girl, I want to flaunt you. Whew, fire, 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 fire. And now we're getting to the top five. That top five. Where Booker T say five time, five time, five time. So the top five, undeniable. We're going to the West Coast with this one. Tony, R&P to Dwayne Wiggins. Tony featuring DJ Quick, Get Down. Came out in 97. This song right here, the beat, the lyrics, everything was a chef's kiss. Chef's kiss. That was a fire song. And I would like to hear more from them. That's shout out to the whole Bay Area. Shout out to Cali. But that song was fire as hell. The video was fly too as well. Number 4, Give Me All the Chicken Heads from Pasadena to Medina. Total featuring the late great Notorious B.I.G. Biggie. Can't You See? That was it came out in 95. It was off the New Jersey Drive soundtrack. This one Biggie was on fire. And it's off the Total album too as well. That the beat, the James Brown sample, how they was doing Puff in the video, hard video. And number 3, the number 3 is songs off the Nutty Professor soundtrack, but then it was off their debut. It's off this artist's debut album, Case featuring Foxy Brown and Mary J. Blige, Touch Me, Tease Me. You already know the sample and all of that. And, I get mad on the radio when they would take out Foxy Brown's verse. I'm like, oh, no, that verse is fire. And shout out to Il Nana, but Case featuring Foxy Brown and Mary J. Blige, Touch Me, Tease Me at number 3 on the number 3 spot. Number 2, I think this right here, this song, and it was a remix too as well. When they had to add this person as the feature rap artist on there, I'm like, okay, she know her shit. Excuse my language. She with the culture. I Care featuring Old Dirty Bastard Fantasy remix. When he's like, yo, New York's in the house. I'm like, and Puff on the ad libs I was like, oh, this is not just Mariah Carey. This is Mariah Carey, Shout out, rest in peace to Old Dirty Bastard. But this song, Fantasy Remix, was one of those ones that was always played. And it coming at the number 1 spot, you already know what it is. Brandy featuring I'm just kidding, I said featuring Monica. See, pardon me, because I'm thinking about I'm going to the Brandy and Monica tour in a couple of weeks. But Brandy featuring MC Lyte, Yo Yo, and Queen Latifah. I Want to Be Down remix, because that was one of the fights, like three female artists, rap artists on one track, and all of them was popping at the time, and they killed it. I don't know who verse was better, because all of them laid their thing down. And Brandy, the video alone, like she already had one of them down. She didn't even have to really do the remix, but she's like, no, I want to have a remix. I want to have nothing but women. And that is our top 20 R&B feature and rap collaborations. Again, some of them are remixes, some of them are originals, and some of them you have heard of. So the list was compiled of how we, as far as with just cultural impact, club, street, everything. And it's not just based on sales. So there you have it. And we tune into our next list. All right.